Picture this. New York Harbor, October 1886. A massive copper woman, a true giantess, had finally made her grand entrance. This wasn't some run-of-the-mill statue destined for a quiet park corner. Oh no. This was a statement, a gift from the people of France, a testament to big ideas like liberty and friendship. People craned their necks, they wondered, they talked. Her official name was Liberty Enlightening the World. Quite a mouthful, really. But then, she was quite a lady. She didn't arrive all in one piece, mind you. Instead, she came packed in crates, hundreds of them. Like the world's most ambitious IKEA project shipped across the temperamental Atlantic Ocean. Imagine the dock workers carefully unloading bits of a colossal hand here, a section of a giant nose there. It was a puzzle of epic proportions, waiting to be assembled into something the world had never quite seen before. The journey itself was an adventure worthy of its own tale. The French frigate Isère braved the seas, carrying this precious disassembled cargo. Back in America, the anticipation was building. Newspapers were full of stories. This is the story of how she came to be and what she came to mean. Our story begins not in America but in France, specifically around a dinner table near Paris, sometime in 1865. The host was Édouard de Laboulaye. He wasn't a sculptor or an engineer. He was a prominent scholar, a jurist, and a keen political thinker, and he had a serious admiration for the United States. He saw America as a grand experiment in liberty, a place where ideals were being put into practice, however imperfectly. Laboulaye was a staunch opponent of slavery. The American Civil War had just ended. The Union had prevailed. Slavery was abolished. For Laboulaye, this was a monumental victory for human freedom, not just in America, but for the entire world. He believed this triumph deserved to be commemorated. He felt it was a moment that underscored the resilience of democratic ideals. He wanted to mark this occasion, to celebrate this hard-won liberty in a way that would resonate through the ages. So at this dinner party, Laboulaye floated an idea. He proposed that France should create a monument. Liberty was a universal aspiration after all. Every grand idea needs someone to actually, make it. Édouard de Laboulaye had the vision, but he needed an artist. That artist was Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi, a sculptor with a flair for the dramatic and the colossal. Laboulaye's proposal captured Bartholdi's imagination completely. He was enthusiastic, he was driven, he was the man tasked with transforming this lofty concept of liberty into tangible, towering form. In 1871, he embarked on a journey to America. His mission to find the perfect location for this future icon and to drum up support for the project. As his ship sailed into New York Harbor, he spotted Bedloe's Island. It was, he declared, the ideal spot. He envisioned his statue there, greeting the ships, a gateway to the New World. His early designs for the statue went through several iterations. He drew inspiration from classical art, from the ancient wonders like the Colossus of Rhodes. Ultimately, Bartholdi settled on the image we know today, a stately, robed female figure, strong yet graceful. He poured his heart and soul into making her perfect. Creating a statue over 150 feet tall out of copper sheets presented a significant engineering challenge. Copper is relatively soft. It needs a strong support system, especially to withstand the winds of New York Harbor. Bartholdi was a brilliant artist, but this kind of structural engineering was beyond his expertise. His initial collaborator on the structural design was Eugene Viollet-le-Duc. Viollet-le-Duc proposed filling the statue with sandbags or masonry compartments, a rather rigid solution. Unfortunately, he passed away in 1879, his plans incomplete. This is where another famous Frenchman enters the picture, Gustave Eiffel. Bartholdi turned to Eiffel to devise a new internal structure. Eiffel, a master of iron construction, had a revolutionary idea. Instead of a rigid core, he designed an ingenious iron truss pylon, a sort of skeletal tower within the statue. This central spine would bear the weight of the copper skin and provide the necessary stability. Eiffel's design was a marvel of 19th century engineering. He gave her the strength to endure. The actual construction of Lady Liberty was a transatlantic affair, a testament to international cooperation and sheer determination. The statue itself was fabricated in Paris, in the workshops of Gaget, Gautier, and Sillet. It was a painstaking process. Huge wooden molds were created, and then copper sheets were hammered by hand against these molds to achieve the desired shapes, a technique known as repousse. Parisians, and tourists alike, could watch as the statue gradually took shape, a giant copper woman rising above the city rooftops. Funding this colossal project was, predictably, a colossal headache. The agreement was that the French people would finance the statue, while the American people would foot the bill for the pedestal and the assembly on Bedloes Island. French fundraising involved public fees, entertainment events, and a lottery. In America, however, enthusiasm for funding the pedestal was initially lukewarm. Some felt it was New York's project, not the nation's. Others were simply slow to open their wallets for what was, essentially, the base for a gift. The Statue of Liberty is not just a big, impressive piece of metalwork. She's absolutely dripping with symbolism. Every element was carefully considered by Bartholdi to convey profound messages. Let's start with her crown. Those 7 sharp spikes aren't just a fashion statement. They represent the 7 continents and the 7 seas of the world, signifying the universal spread of liberty. Some also interpret them as rays of the sun, further emphasizing the idea of enlightenment and hope radiating outwards. In her right hand, held high for all to see, is a golden torch. The torch symbolizes enlightenment, progress, and the light of reason. It's liberty enlightening the world, after all. Cradled in her left arm, she holds a tablet, a keystone-shaped tabula ansata. This is a direct nod to the rule of law. Inscribed on it are the Roman numerals July 4th, 1776. That's July 4th, 1776, the date of the United States Declaration of Independence. And then there are her feet. Lady Liberty is not standing still. She is depicted in motion, striding forward. At her feet lie broken shackles and chains. The big day finally arrived, October 28, 1886. This was dedication day for the Statue of Liberty, enlightening the world. New York City was ready to celebrate. Despite a rather gloomy, rainy, and foggy sky, spirits were incredibly high. A massive parade wound its way through the streets of Manhattan. Businesses closed. People lined the sidewalks, eager to be part of this historic moment. President Grover Cleveland was on hand to do the honors, to officially accept this monumental gift from France. It was a spectacle. Frederick Auguste Bartholdi, the statue's creator, was there too, naturally. He must have been bursting with pride, and probably a fair bit of relief. After so many years of dreaming, designing, fundraising, and building, his vision was finally a reality. During the ceremony on Bedloes Island, as speeches were made, Bartholdi was stationed in the statue's head. At the appointed signal, he pulled a rope, and the large French tricolor flag veiling Lady Liberty's face dramatically dropped away. The crowd erupted in cheers. Lady Liberty didn't just get unveiled and then stand there looking pretty. Her significance deepened and evolved as America itself changed. During World War I, she took on a new, urgent role. She became a potent patriotic symbol, featured prominently on recruitment posters and in Liberty bond drives. Buy Bonds posters showed her pointing, urging citizens to support the war effort. She represented the very freedoms and democratic values that American soldiers were fighting to defend in Europe. In 1924, her status was officially recognized when President Calvin Coolidge designated the Statue of Liberty as a national monument. This act acknowledged her profound importance to American history and culture. It also placed her under the protection of the National Park Service, ensuring her preservation for future generations. Come World War II, Lady Liberty's torch once again shone as a symbol of hope in a world plunged into darkness. For those suffering under Nazi occupation in Europe, and for the Allied soldiers fighting against fascism, she stood as a powerful emblem of freedom and resilience. Her global significance was further cemented in 1984, when UNESCO declared the Statue of Liberty a World Heritage Site. Ahead of her centennial in 1986, she underwent an extensive restoration, a project that revitalized her physically and reaffirmed her place in the hearts of people worldwide. Thinking of paying Lady Liberty a visit today? Good idea, she's still quite the sight. But a little planning goes a long way. Ferries are your only way to get to Liberty Island, and nearby Ellis Island, which is often part of the same ticket. These boats depart from two locations, Battery Park in Lower Manhattan, New York, and Liberty State Park in Jersey City, New Jersey. It's highly recommended to book your ferry tickets online in advance, especially if you're visiting during peak season or want access to the pedestal or the crown. Those tickets sell out fast. Once you've got your tickets, be prepared for airport-style security screening before you board the ferry. It's thorough, so allow extra time. When you arrive on Liberty Island, you're free to explore the grounds and take in the breathtaking views of the statue and the Manhattan skyline. Inside the pedestal is the Statue of Liberty Museum, which is really well done. It offers fascinating exhibits about the statue's history, construction, and symbolism. If you have crown tickets, get ready for a climb 354 narrow winding steps. It's a bit tight, but the panoramic view from up there is truly unforgettable. The Statue of Liberty continues to be an incredibly powerful and resonant symbol. She has watched over New York Harbor for well over a century. She has seen countless ships arrive carrying hopeful immigrants. Through it all, she has stood tall, her torch held high, a steadfast presence.